verse 3. Remember the prisoners as if chained with them, those who are mistreated, since you yourself are also in the body also. Since you yourself are in the body also. One of the things you need to do, one of the things we need to do is to get in touch with our humanity. We've been desensitized by so much violence in the world that we don't think twice about violence, don't think twice of stuff like that in the world today. We've lost touch with our humanity, and we have lost in touch with that Christian spirit. And we need to get in touch with that again. Many of us have been abused and been victimized in different kinds of ways, and we also victimize people as well. And we need to not, and if you've been victimized in some way, we need not to become the victimizer, but to be in touch with the victim, to be in touch with how it feels to hurt and to be in pain. So we can have empathy and compassion on others that are out there. In other words, it's like the world is training us to be psychopaths and sociopaths, and that's not a very good idea, especially if you're a Christian, to be a sociopath and a psychopath. Not a good idea. I think even sociopaths and psychopaths, I think everyone can reform, I think everyone can change. And it seems like in a lot of the laws, especially in America, we have given up on the idea of reform. We're trying juveniles for in adult courts, locking them away in prison for the rest of their lives. We've lost touch of empathy and compassion and trying to reform people. And I think kids especially have a lot more opportunity to reform than those who are older, although I believe everyone can reform. Now, that doesn't mean everyone is going to be reformed, and that means that criminals may continue to be criminals, but we shouldn't, just because of that, we should not give up on reform, changing people's lives. We need Christian passion and Christian love to permeate our society. And we need to suffer or to put ourselves in the shoes of those who are being victimized, who are locked up, who are being put to death, who are dying for no particular reason because the devil of the flesh and sin is running rampant in our world. And our job is to fulfill the Great Commission and Christianize the whole entire world, ushering in a golden age of peace and prosperity, conforming every institution, etc., to Christian institutions and Christian commandment-keeping Christians, etc. Are you doing verse 1 and 2? Are you doing verse 3? If not, I want you to think about it. Are you doing those things? If you're not, I want you to go into prayer and ask God to give you the wisdom and the knowledge to do what He wants you to do concerning verse 1 and 2, and then go do it. During World War II, the Nazis occupied France. And complete strangers worldwide joined together to help to defeat Hitler, the Gestapo, and the Nazis. People saved Jews from the Nazis exterminating them. People helped to liberate France. The communists, British, and Americans worked together with a single goal in mind to overthrow Hitler. And they did just that. Now, unfortunately, one dictator was traded for another dictator, and that Iron Curtain was put up. Communists came into power and the Cold War began. And these people suffered with each other. They ate with people. They watched people be slaughtered and killed by the Nazis. But they still continued to fight Hitler. And then there were people in Europe who basically turned a blind eye to Hitler because they were pacifists, philosophy and thinking, and did absolutely nothing to a certain extent to stop Hitler from taking over. Although there were small numbers of people who said, no, we ain't going to take this. We're not going to put up with this. This guy's got to go. The Nazis got to go. And there was a combined effort citizens of America, and of course worldwide, who set their hearts in the goal of overthrowing Hitler and getting rid of his regime. They said, we're not going to sit around and do nothing about this. This guy's a madman. He's got to go. So you had, the BBC, who did their part by transmitting secret codes on the BBC and radio so that they can give information to the soldiers in the front line and tactics and so forth to the goal of overthrowing Hitler. And they did it cleverly and smart. They rallied together. Women went to work the first time and worked in the factories. Women who were just, for the most part, housewives, chose to do their part to deal with Hitler, and some of them became spies. They were securing comfort in their homes, being a housewife and so forth, and they stepped out of their comfort zone, decided, I want to do something to do my part for the war effort and overthrow Hitler. And they stepped out of their comfort zone. Some went to work, pulled up the sleeves, others when they became spies. And they discovered something about themselves, that they can do a good job, just as good as men can do to fight the Nazis and, of course, Imperial Japan. But today, especially in America, in Europe, what kind of support did our communities give for dealing with the rise of extreme Islamist groups like Al-Qaeda and so forth? Did we have the same rally and support like we had in World War II? No, not really. And as soon as the war dragged on and we lost support, the media attacked the war against terrorists. Now, the war of terrorists hasn't ended and they're still fighting it, but still. There wasn't that kind of support and rallying like World War II. And we need to get back to that in our world, in our communities today. Fat chance getting that kind of support from the news media that we had in World War II. We need to get back to that thing and put ourselves in the position of the victim. Putting ourselves in the shoes of those who are suffering. How would you deal with it if you were in that situation? Now, I'm not saying that everyone's going to be a hero. There's different ways to be courageous and to have courage and to do your part to make this a better and safer world, a world of justice, love, kindness, and so forth.